Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We've recently released Plant Food Min and Plant Food Max, which are aquarium plant fertilizers. And today, I'll be showing you Controbase. Controbase is a nutrient supplement, highly dense in nutrients. And before using Controsoil or Controsand, you'll first lay down the Controbase and then top it off with either the soil or the sand. Controbase is composed of primarily pumice stone, and it's also infused with macro and micronutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, which is great for heavy root feeders, aquatic stem plants, rhotallas, ludwigias, that require a lot more nutrients than, say, your average 4-gram plant. Another advantage of Controbase is that it's made of 6 to 8 millimeter pumice stones, and this will help elevate your substrate and provide a lot more flow beneath, which in addition has its own benefits, such as allowing beneficial bacteria to grow and providing oxygenation to the roots of your plants. And this way, when your plants are getting thicker in terms of root growth, the roots won't get compacted by the substrate itself, aka it helps plants grow better. It's offered in two sizes, the 2-liter bag and this larger 8-liter bag. The 2-liter bag is perfect for a UNS 60U aquarium, which is about 20 gallons. And the larger 8-liter bag is perfect for a 120U or a 120P, which is around 60 to 70 gallons. Within each bag of Controbase, you'll find several mesh bags. And these mesh bags hold Controbase so that it's less messy when you're scaping your tank. We don't recommend cutting these mesh bags because in the potential event that you're taking down your scape, it's actually easier to remove these without getting all muddy and dirty. There's a couple methods where you can use Controbase to your advantage in terms of scaping. This example right here, where I'm just laying the 3 bags on their sides in the back, will allow you to elevate the slope for more depth. Another way that we like to use it is to actually stack multiples as such, and you'll get even higher slopes. So it depends on your aquascape and how you really want to elevate your sloping. For this purpose, what I'll do is I'll create a triangular type scape, and we'll plant most of the plants here. And this will have better nutrient advantages in this area. However, the nutrients that are infused into the pumice stone of Controbase will provide a slow release into the water column as time passes. Now, when you're scaping with Controbase, I'm gonna show you guys with the front panel of the glass. If you're putting Controbase right up against the glass panels, when you cover it with soil, you'll see the mesh bag. So you want a cleaner soil line, what you'll do is you'll move it away from the panel slightly, and then your substrate will cover the Controbase and bury it. So here in my example, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna place 2 bags right here on this side, away from the glass panels. I'm gonna stack the 3rd one up here. And there is about a 1-finger gap between this panel and Controbase and this panel and Controbase. And now it's time to add my soil, which I will use Controsoil Extra Fine Black, and cover all of the Controbase bags. And you want to give it enough height in the substrate that you're using so that once you plant plants, you're not met with blockage from the Controbase. So you need it high enough. I would say an average of 1.5 inch to 2 inches of substrate would be enough. as I mentioned before, you'll notice how the slope is going from down here all the way up here, thanks to the Controbase. If there was no Controbase underneath, the slope would probably be slightly lower, but because of the elevated Controbase at the bottom of the substrate, now we're able to slope even higher. I just wet the soil a little bit so that it's easier for me to start planting this beautiful Rotala indica green. For this purpose, I wanted to pick a lot of colorful stem plants just to see how these plants will interact with more nutrients in the beginning. Normally, I'm a pretty lean nutrient type of aquascaper where I provide all the general nutrients that aquatic plants need in the beginning, and I don't try to overdo it. However, I'm pretty confident with Controbase because it is a slow release type of nutrient instead of just maybe dosing something like nutrient heavy liquid fertilizer in the beginning. And here I'm just planting it somewhat Dutch style, and I'm only going to plant it in the corner just to see how the plant will spread over time. And because I added about 1.5 inches of Controsoil on top of my Controbase bags, I'm having a very easy time planting as if there was nothing beneath the soil. Generally speaking, I would highly recommend Controbase to aquascapers who are looking to plant their tanks heavy, and aquascapers who are looking to perhaps dose less liquid fertilizer in the beginning. I wanted to try a variety of different plants, and here I'm going in with some more somewhat difficult stem plants. And this is a Pogostemon stellata. And I'll also be planting some Limnophylla aromatica, which smells great, by the way. Not only will I have different colors in the tank, I'll also have different leaf shapes and textures. And I wanted to try these plants just because they're going to provide different growth rates, different colors, just to see how these plants will react with Controbase. Now I have Ludwigia natans. It's probably going to be the brightest plant in this tank. It's also going to be the deepest red plant that will be planted in this tank. Next, we have the classic Rotala wallichi. It doesn't really grow too fast in the beginning, but once it takes off, it's a really nice addition. I really wished a lot more people used it again, and I like it for its feathery leaves and texture. And this is going to be the pink plant in this tank. I'm only going to use a little bit of it because it looks really nice when it's grown out bunched together. And finally, we have Rotala Ceylon, which is a bright, lighter pink stem plant. This one's a fast grower though. So we have different plants with different growth rates, just so we can see how Controbase affects the growth of different stem plants. So that is it for planting of this tank. As I mentioned earlier in this video, I only wanted to plant half of the tank, or this back corner of the tank, just to see how Controbase affects the growth rates of different stem plants. Follow along, watch the rest of the video to see how it grows out.